There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the silence between two people becomes louder than all the words they've ever shared. No more shouting, no more explaining, just quiet, heavy and full. You feel it, Libra. That deep space where their absence used to hurt, now it only echoes your name in the places they once ignored you. And slowly, they begin to realize what they've lost. They didn't just lose a person, they lost someone who loved without limits. Someone who listened without needing attention. Someone who gave without being asked. Now, they regret losing you, not just because they miss you, but because they finally see you. Not as a soft presence in the background, but as the steady light they didn't know they were walking away from. But here's the question you're quietly asking yourself. Is it too late for them to come back? Tonight, we won't talk about revenge. This isn't a story of bitterness. It's not even about them anymore. It's about you, standing at the edge of a door they once shut. And now, you watch them reach for the handle. So don't turn away. Stay until the end. Because you didn't stumble on this message by chance. Something bigger has shifted. The universe is whispering. And deep down, your soul already knows something is changing. When regret wakes them up, regret doesn't come gently. It shows up when they least expect it. In quiet rooms, in late nights, in moments that once felt full, but now feel empty. It happens when they scroll through photos they forgot they kept. When your name crosses their mind in the middle of a conversation, when they hear a song that once belonged to both of you. That's when it hits them. You're no longer there. Not waiting, not reaching out, just gone. They thought it would be easy. They assumed your kindness meant you would always stay. They didn't realize your silence had meaning. They didn't see that your quiet nature was not weakness. It was strength wrapped in love. Now your absence has become a mirror. It reflects back everything they refused to notice when you were near. How you showed up, even when they didn't ask. How your presence softened their storms. How your peace made them feel whole. Even when they didn't understand why. And now they sit with this ache. An ache for the light they let go of. But before they try to come back, there's something they need to face. Do they truly miss you? Or do they just miss how you made them feel? Your energy was a sanctuary. You didn't just give them love, you gave them a place to breathe, a place where they didn't have to pretend, a space where their heart could rest without fear. Your presence was more than comforting. It was safe. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't push. You simply were there. You showed up gently. You listened without needing to fix. You stayed even when you were hurting too. Your energy was calm, soft, warm, like coming home after a long, cold day. And without realizing it, they found comfort in your stillness. They let their guard down. They leaned into your spirit, and they thought you would always be there. But they misunderstood you. They thought your calm meant you had nowhere else to go. They believed your patience meant you would never walk away. They assumed your quiet love was endless, until one day, it wasn't. That's when they felt the shift. The space you once held in their life was empty. And it wasn't just the absence of a person, it was the loss of a feeling. Because when someone truly loses you, Libra, they don't just lose your presence. They lose the peace you brought. They lose the balance you offered. They lose the safety they never had anywhere else. You were their calm in a chaotic world. And now that calm is gone. They're learning that not all love is replaceable. Some energies once lost leave behind silence that echoes forever. The fire in your silence. You didn't leave with chaos. You didn't demand attention. You didn't try to prove your worth with loud words or final goodbyes. You just stopped showing up. Stopped explaining yourself. Stopped waiting for them to notice the pain behind your patience. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than anything else ever could. It wasn't cold. It wasn't cruel. It was sacred. Your silence wasn't about shutting them out. It was about letting yourself back in. It was a quiet decision made from love, not anger. A moment where you finally said, enough. I deserve more than waiting to be seen. They didn't understand at first. They thought your silence was temporary. They assumed you were giving them space, but what you were really doing was giving yourself peace. And in that stillness, something powerful was born. You didn't need to fight for your place anymore. You created a new one, where only truth could live. Now they feel it. Not the sting of harsh words, not the noise of drama, but the burn of a presence that is no longer there. A fire that didn't destroy anything, but cleared the way for your rebirth. They're not haunted by what you said. They're haunted by the sound of your absence. Because now, they realize your silence wasn't empty. It was full of truth they weren't ready to hear. The cosmic delay of closure. Closure doesn't always come in a conversation. It doesn't always arrive with answers or apologies. Sometimes it arrives with time, with space, with silence so long it forces truth to rise. The universe has its own clock, not rushed by emotion, not delayed by confusion. It moves when the soul is ready, not when the heart is desperate. In that waiting, something starts to shift. They begin to notice what they couldn't see before. The hands they once took for granted are now folded in prayer or holding someone new. The voice they ignored has gone quiet but stronger, and the love they lost is no longer unprotected. Maybe you're still healing, or maybe you've moved on. But either way, Libra, you are not where they left you. The person you were when you gave them everything, that version of you doesn't live there anymore. Now you're guarded with grace, wiser, slower to open up, more at peace with letting go. And if they've come back now, understand something important. They didn't return by accident. There's a divine reason they're here in this moment. But divine timing doesn't always mean destiny. Sometimes it means closure. Sometimes it means a final choice. Sometimes it means learning how to say no with love. So before you welcome them in again, ask yourself honestly, are they reaching for you now because they see your worth? Or because they miss who they were when they stood in your light? Are they ready for the new you? You are no longer the person they left behind. You've changed, not in loud, obvious ways, but in the quiet places where real growth happens. You've learned how to sit with pain without letting it control you. You've learned that your heart is valuable, not because of how much it can carry, but because of how carefully it now chooses who to carry. You've stopped explaining your worth to people who couldn't see it. You've stopped begging for understanding from those who never listened. And in that stillness, you found yourself. So now, if they want to come back, they're not stepping into the past. They're standing at the doorway of someone completely new. Someone who sets boundaries with love. Someone who doesn't confuse sacrifice with self-neglect. Someone who no longer gives everything just to be kept. Libra, this version of you is sacred. You are softer but stronger, quieter but wiser. And what once would have broken you, now teaches you. So before you let them in again, ask yourself, are they ready for the person you've become? Not the memory of you, but the real you. The healed, grounded, spiritually guarded you. You can let them see you, let them witness your growth, your glow, your grace, but never shrink just to make them feel comfortable. You didn't go through all this to return to who you were. You evolved for a reason. And now, only those who honor that evolution deserve to stay. So, is it too late? That answer doesn't come from anyone else. It comes from your heart, from that quiet, steady place within you that knows what peace feels like and what disturbs it. You see, Libra, it's okay to grow past something that once felt like everything. It's okay to release someone you once waited for. It doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It just means your soul kept moving, even when they didn't. Not everyone who comes back is meant to stay. Some return only to remind you of how far you've traveled without them. They act like they've missed you. But often, they're searching for the version of you that no longer exists. You can forgive them. You can wish them well. But forgiveness isn't an invitation. Forgiveness is freedom for you. And if they want to walk beside you now, they must meet you where you are, not where they left you. Because the truth is simple. You're no longer waiting. You're no longer bending. You're no longer building bridges for people who watch them burn. You are not who you were. And that, Libra, that is your quiet, beautiful strength. You were the lesson and the light. In their story, you were the light they didn't recognize, the calm they didn't value, the love they thought would never fade. But in your story, they were the lesson, the turning point, the reason you looked inward and found something greater than their presence. You found you. Let them sit with their regret. Let them remember the way you cared, the way you stayed, the way you gave. But you don't go back. You rise. You rise because your soul is not meant to be reopened like a door without a key. It's sacred, it's holy ground, and only those who step with respect are welcome. If this message reached you today, it's because your spirit was calling for a reminder that you are not what was left. You are what has been rising ever since. If your heart is still holding on, let go gently. Release with love, not resentment, because your peace is too valuable to carry the weight of what no longer fits. Subscribe and stay with us on this journey of truth, healing, and cosmic timing. You are never forgotten by the universe. You are held. You are loved. You are guided.